What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another DMT part 2. This is part 2 of my potentially 3-part series. And the part 2 pertains to the part 1, in which was part 1 of the part 3. No, I'm just fucking around. So, today, if you guys haven't already watched the part 1 though, in all seriousness, go ahead and check that out. It's the part 1 of the part 3 series. No, I'm playing. Alright, the part 1 was my first time ever doing DMT, and I think it's a good one to watch first, you know, just watch the shit in order, okay? And also watch my other videos, and like, subscribe, and fucking comment so I get on that algo, because it's tough for a channel like me, with as much bullshit as it has, you know, rated R type things, to get on the algo. But without further ado, this is part 2 of my, Alright, let's get into it. So part 2, I'm just gonna assume you guys already watched part 1. Part 2 happens literally 3 hours after part 1. So if you guys remember, I was using a super crappy makeshift version of a like dab rig essentially, and I've never done dabs. So essentially what I was using was my bong, and I replaced the bowl part of the bong with one of those dab things, those little pipe looking dab hitters, and you're supposed to torch the bottom and put the oil inside of it. Now what I did was, instead of using a torch, I used a Bic lighter. And Bic lighters aren't ideal for that type of situation because it ends up just leaving a big black burnt thing at the bottom. And it's not the best way to go about it because you just end up not doing it very efficiently. So what I had to do was go over to the vape shop to get an oil burner and actually do this the correct way so that I could actually get my breakthrough dose. Because on part 1, I'm sure you guys remember, if you guys are coming directly from part 1, I didn't even get a complete breakthrough dose. I literally just got to that first toke, and by the time I tried getting to the second, it was just all sloppy, and my mind wasn't really connecting to my body as well, and it was kind of like, it was disorienting because I'm not used to that other atmosphere, that other higher dimension, if you know what I mean. So while I'm trying to get this oil burner, I'm also hitting up my buddy Kevin, who's at work at the moment. I hit him up, I ask him if he wants to chill later, and I also bring up the news that I got some DMT, and I tell him the story on my experience, and he's thinking it's pretty crazy shit because I still hadn't revealed to anybody about the fact that I did this stuff yet. They kind of knew about it. They kind of knew about it. Like my friend group knew about the fact that like I'm obsessed with this stuff, but they didn't yet get the news that I had made it or had tried it. So I broke the news to him, and he's thinking it's fucking crazy. And this guy, I asked him if he wants to try it. And you know, I shot my shot. He didn't bite the bullet. He stuck to his side in saying that he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to fry his brain up, which makes sense. You know what I mean? He's like 4 or 5 years deep into college, and he's just about to get his degree. So I understand, right? You don't want to turn your brain into mush. You want to avoid that at all costs after grinding away at some super hard stuff for 4 to 5 years. So I'm like, okay, I get it. But hey, dude, you got to help me, okay? You got to help me because this is way too hard, and it's kind of cool, right? You get to experience me do this thing first off, and you get to be the first person to hear me try to articulate my experience to you. I tell him all about my first experience, and he's super interested. So yeah. So at this point, you know, I pick up those oil burners and the torches, and I wait about 3 to 4 hours for him to come over. He gets to my house by like 9 or 10 o'clock. It's pretty late because he was working at a pizza shop part-time. And that bitch doesn't close until like late as fuck. But he ends up coming over, and right away he wants me to just get right into it because he's excited to see it. And I'm like, dude, all right, let's chill out for a second. Let's chill out. Let's ease into this. And the truth is, I was just scared as fuck. I'm like, dude, I don't want to fucking go to another goddamn dimension just right now. Because I'm like, you know, this is going to work. This is totally going to work. I'm thinking to myself, bro, as soon as I even say yes, within the next 3 minutes, I could potentially be ripped out of my skin, dispersed into millions of fragments, spread evenly across the universe, getting molested by a bunch of aliens, fucking jesters, whatever the fuck Terrence McKenna talks about. So I'm kind of scared at the thought of that, but at the same time, like, I'm set on it, bro. I've been thinking about this stuff for years. Now, oddly enough, like, as scared as I am, when you take a quick little warm-up hit of DMT, like the first hit, if you just take one hit and then let it cool down and realize how quick acting this stuff is and how quick you come back down to baseline, it's a very peaceful, it's a very peaceful feeling. And it's a reassuring feeling that it's all going to be okay. And, you know, this reality does always come back. It's not something that you're going to be stuck in. Okay? So truthfully, I don't know why I was so scared, but what I ended up doing was saying, hey, let's play Black Ops 6 for a little bit. Let's play Rocket League. So yeah, we're about 20 minutes into the gaming session, if you will. And Kevin keeps on saying, like, hey, like, let's take it. Let's have you try out the DMT. He's like, dude, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. I'm excited. And I'm like, all right, here's the deal. If I don't beat this next guy by 3, if I don't beat this next guy by 3 points, then I'll do it, okay? I'm trying to make sure this peacefulness lasts a little bit. I'm kind of scared, like I said. I want to make sure that I'm completely ready. So 1, I'm trying to calm my nerves, and 2, I'm just scared, motherfucker. Anyway, you know, I grab my balls and I'm like, okay, let's do this. And you know, my palms start sweating, my hands start shaking as I'm weighing this stuff out. My voice starts to tremble as Kevin watches me weigh this stuff out. I have him smell it and ask him what it smells like, and he's like, yeah, that smells exactly how you described it. It smells like a new pair of shoes, like if you were to open a shoebox. And so, now I have this stuff inside of the pipe. A perfect 45 milligrams inside this pipe. Now I describe to him how this is going to go. I tell him, the first hit I will do on my own. This first hit I will just describe to you how to do this. Okay, so once I have my first inhale in, I will release the pipe and release the flame off of the pipe. And I will give you a thumbs up when to start igniting the flame again and creating the smoke of the DMT. Okay, so he gets the idea of it, and we begin. I sit down on the couch, make myself comfy, ensure that if I fall back, my head has a safe place to fall back on. Okay, good environment. I'm with one of my best buds. I'm home. I'm safe. 5 minutes. Here we go. Light up the torch. Start rolling the pipe. I see the oil start to melt. Moments after it melts, the smoke starts to build up, and I turn the pipe from 10 to 2. 10 to 2. With my lips at the end of the pipe, I ever so gently inhale the smoke. The instant burning of the top of my lungs. 3, 4, 6, 9 seconds. Before I even take in the entire first toke, I feel the energy of the room around me. My body is so much more mellow. My lungs feel as though they've been filled with helium, almost a sensation that is lighter than oxygen itself. My lungs seem to expand into the room around me. Now I have this whole feeling that has overcome me, that I am now in a space that is again to be respected. I am now back where I was. All the air has been sucked out of the room. Objects around me are way more clear. They are there. I am present. Voices in my mind all shut off. This feeling that I am no longer in my basement, but I am in another version of this reality. The same place, but completely different. slightly creepy by the way it's alien, yet the same thing. I'm not high. I'm not high. I'm just somewhere else. My friend Kevin, his skin is so soft looking. I see his flesh and his eyes, almost as though I could feel the texture through my eyeballs. I can literally feel everything around me. And this is where it starts getting weird. I realized that this first hit out of the oil burner was way more intense than the shit hit I took out of that bong earlier. This one hit, it almost made me feel like I was super sleepy physically, but my mind was wide awake. It's like I had been given a new set of goggles to the real world. And that's when Kevin asks, "Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?" Yeah. As he lights the torch, the end of the flame touches the tip of the glass, slowly melting away at the oil. My lips are on the tip of the pipe as he rolls it back and forth, and I take the inhale. As I start to inhale this, every second that goes by, the pipe starts to melt into the room around it, and my peripheral expands like I've never seen it before. The whole world around me opens up. I am now somewhere else. Honestly, I'm thinking I kind of want to do some like back-end editing to make this sound all similar to how it feels. Like I want to slow down the vocals and maybe add some background noise. Because there is a noise that you hear when you take this stuff. I mean, you feel as though everybody that's around you could feel it too. It's like, dude, you guys for sure could feel this. And like I said, it's completely different from just smoking weed, because when you smoke weed or you're drunk, for the most part, you understand that everybody around you is kind of experiencing their own different thing. And don't get me wrong, vibes in the room could be strong, everyone could be having a good time, but you're well aware that the mind state that you're in isn't like your natural self. The thing about this stuff is it feels as though the entire universe is actually on the same wavelength, and I truly think it's because it is. I mean, I think your mind is just activated at a different frequency. So this is where shit gets really, really crazy. The most outer part of my peripheral starts to expand. Like everything starts to expand. It almost feels as though my brain has started to flip inside out of itself, revealing what is always there. The inner workings of my mind and the energy of the room and objects, everything became one. And my head just rolled onto my shoulder. I look up at Kevin, barely even seeing him anymore. I see him because my eyes are open. I'm technically still here. And that's where he goes, "You ready?" For the second time. And this time, thinking I am about to take off, I go, "I'm good." And I just stare at the room with absolute astonishment. There's really no way I could describe what I saw. Guys, this stuff, even after the second hit, before a full-blown breakthrough, you get this feeling that you are somewhere that is about to take you, like, to that next level. I mean, a lot of people think they break through even at the second hit when they are nowhere near, because the pull you feel with this stuff, the sensations, the energy, the entities that you can't quite see but you could feel are so fucking weirdly creepy. I mean, right at this moment, I am just trying to get a grip on reality. I really am. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I'm even doing right now. It's like a flashbang. It really is. It's like a flashbang of an alien world. Morphing in and out, around. Your whole existence is so intense. You know, the idea of this is so simple. It's like you take 3 hits. It's just 3 hits. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. But when I was there, I had this certain feeling that God or something, whatever it was asking me, are you ready? Are you ready to die right now? Friendly reminder to my FBI agents that this is just one big stand-up comedy bit. In fact, it's one of my favorite bits. I like to act as if it actually happened. Action. You have to be ready to die because the feeling you get is you must die to get to the other side. I mean, the pull on reality, the grip on reality was fucking, I was holding on to it like somebody would hold on to a helicopter. The propellers are trying to push me off the fucking helicopter as I'm gripping with my fingers. That's where I was. And while I'm doing this, while I'm experiencing this, I still slightly understand the fact that Kevin is in the room with me and he's just sitting there. He's looking at me, asking me what I'm seeing. And it's not that I couldn't see him. It was the fact that I was so distracted by what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing, that I couldn't find the words to even speak to him. The only thing that I was able to say was, "Don't worry about me. Just play the game." I wanted him to not pay attention to me because I felt almost vulnerable. I was afraid of what I was in. I was truly just so confused, hoping to just go back to normal. I was afraid to get stuck like this. I was afraid that this would last forever. Now keep in mind, this was probably only the 2 to 3 minute mark, but my eyes were just stapled to the couch across the room from me. As simple as that sounds, the thing I was so fixated on was this couch. Now, as I started to come down, the come down comes very, very quickly. I started to come down and I started to understand a little better. But the world was still so fucking insane. The room was so crisp, yet so intensely alien. I was wondering what the fuck kind of dimension am I in? And I started to realize that the room I was in was still my room. It was still my basement. Nothing about it has changed. The only thing that changed was my pure perspective. The way I looked at it. The way I see this, the way I feel as though this affects the brain is, I truly think, at least to a certain point, that it just melts away your prior associations and simpler understandings to the room and objects around you, breaking every single corner, every single crevice into its purest form, what it really is before you have any knowledge of it. Things are just things before you know what they are. You know, when you first go to a new city, you wonder if you'll ever get used to it, if you'll ever understand which street leads to where. You'll wonder if you'll ever feel like this city looks normal to you, like home. Or really a better example is language, right? Language seems so normal to us, right? Since you're watching this in English, and for example, for my example, if you only speak English, English seems as though it's probably the most clear and concise language. Every other language seems inferior to ours, at least if you're like me. Now, I know this isn't really the case, but it's my subjective truth. I feel as though all other languages sound like a bunch of fucking bullshit rubbish, that they don't even like their language. Our language is so much more, it's chill. It should be universal. English is so nice and clear, and you could really just feel the vibes with English. But with Chinese and all this other bullshit, fucking bullshit ass languages, right? Now, I'm not being completely racist. I'm half Filipino. I hear my mom speaking her bullshit all the time. I don't fuck with that either. Like, I feel as though, the whole point I'm trying to make is that it only sounds this way because you're so used to it. You have such second nature. It's so intuitive to you that it just feels so thoughtless. You don't even have to think about it. But here's where it gets crazy, right? Every time I take like a 2-hit dose or a 3-hit dose, when I come back down or I start speaking to people trying to explain my experience, I forget how to fucking speak and understand English. It's the craziest, most scary part of all my trips. Now, before this scares you off, this only lasts maybe a minute before I understand again. Now, don't get me wrong, I actually am speaking English, but it's just that my subconscious is speaking it while my consciousness is still adjusting and trying to keep up with the understanding of it. So I'll forget, I'll think I forget the entire fucking, English alphabet, but really I'm not. But anyway, you get the point. Like, everything is no longer common knowledge. Like, everything that you see, everything that you feel, everything is brand new, like a baby's eyes. But anyway, I come back down after 5 minutes. Yeah, 20-minute story. I know this is such a shit story, guys. I'm so sorry. But the truth is, it's impossible to describe. It really is. So I'm giving it my best shot, especially after not having taken this shit in like 3 months. And this story being like from 9 months ago. But for the most part, it's like 99% accurate in the way my vocabulary can keep up. But, I come back down. And the funniest part is Kevin's like, did you feel anything? He's like, you look like you were just chilling there. Did you feel anything? And I'm like, bro, what was that? There's no way that was not real. And he just has no idea what I'm talking about. I'm trying my best to describe exactly what I described to you guys, the way this stuff felt. And he kept asking me if I wanted to do it again, and I'm like, bro, that's enough for today. But man, the feeling that you get after a nice come down is such an appreciation of just being able to be in this moment in space and time with these individuals that you love. And in this moment, I was, feeling deep appreciation for him, just being in this, like I just described, like, space and time is crazy, right? Because for all we know, once we die, it could be nothingness or whatever. It could be anything, but we're here right now. And my little life isn't so bad. So I always have this very nice afterglow, and it lasts me quite some time too, for the appreciation of everything just making sense again. Now, that was my part 2, okay? My part 2 was specifically about this one time. And this one time was quite hard to describe, but I've taken this shit 20 plus times, from just, chilling in my room, taking single hits, to taking damn near 3 hits. I'm pretty convinced that I've basically broke through multiple times. And I'll explain to you guys exactly how that felt in part 3, which I'll probably upload in like a week from now. I kind of want to experience this stuff one more time just so I have a better understanding, a better visual, something to imagine a little bit better as I describe. because this stuff is just insane. So part 3 will be more about the entities that I experienced and my conclusion, my whole entire wrap-up of my thoughts of DMT. Thank you guys for watching. Like the video, comment, subscribe. Let me know about your experience. I'm out.